What do you remember about Exo Zombies? EMZs? Burger Town? Pack-a-punching 20 times? Do you remember the promotional material? The reveal trailer? Probably not, because there wasn't anything. At least not before the game came out. Before I go further, let me provide some context. Back in 2008 with World at War, the Zombies mode was kept secret. There were no trailers until a month after the game came out, and it wasn't even on the main menu at launch. For most people at the time, it would have been a complete surprise after completing the campaign. And that's exactly what Sledgehammer tried to do with Advanced Warfare. Back then, Zombies was Treyarch's thing, and they had announced Exo Survival as the co-op mode, so there was no reason to expect zombies anyway. Everything was in their favor, so what went wrong? The first mistake I think they made was putting the zombies reveal at the end of Exo Survival instead of the end of the campaign. You see, Exo Survival is incredibly similar to Modern Warfare 3's survival mode with a few minor changes. You survive against waves of enemies on multiplayer maps, and you upgrade yourself as you go. Also, like Modern Warfare 3 Survival, the maps are unlocked in batches, but instead of unlocking them through leveling up, you unlock them by completing certain round milestones in each batch. And it's not until the very last map you unlock, Riot, that you would see the Zombies teaser. However, to unlock this map, you would have had to play a total of 225 rounds across the other maps. And Exo Survival is a fine mode, but I don't think anyone was going to play that much of it. At least, not before the first proper Zombies map was released. I certainly wouldn't have if I didn't know about the Zombies twist at the end. In my opinion, it would have made a lot more sense if players were to complete the campaign, watch the credits, and then be put into Exo Survival on Riot. Going from the campaign to the co-op mode would have felt like the natural progression, so nobody would have suspected anything when they played it, which would have been the perfect setup for the big surprise. The Zombies bonus wave also uses elements from the main story, so the whole thing would make more sense to someone who's played through the campaign anyway. Of course, the whole map tier system from Exo Survival could still be there, but using Riot as a bonus level at the end of the campaign would have let players skip all the repetitive gameplay and get right to the point. However, it was more than just poor execution that messed up this reveal. Some people had gotten copies of the game several days early, and unfortunately everything in the game was available to these select few. This led to stuff like this one YouTube video by The Relaxing End. It's right there in the thumbnail and the title that zombies are in this game. And whether you wanted to see it or not, if this showed up in your feed, you had already had one of the biggest twists of the game spoiled. And this is 2 days before the game even came out. Now, as much as I hate content like this should have been expected by Sledgehammer. What they really should have done was lock parts of the game until the full release. Now, as I mentioned before, I doubt many people would have found this part of the game on their own, but at least they would have had a better chance to if it wasn't being spoiled before the game was even officially released. But maybe they just didn't care to keep it a secret at this point, because shortly before the launch, the whole thing was leaked anyway. I don't quite remember how it happened since the original video was taken down, but about a week before launch, either gameplay or the Zombies cutscene was leaked, news of it spread, Zombies was basically confirmed, and all the work that had been done to keep it secret was undone. Even Glenn Schofield, the head of Sledgehammer at the time, made a tweet to say how bummed he was that this was leaked and that players wouldn't have the chance to discover it on their own. If this whole thing had worked out, it could have been one of the coolest experiences in Call of Duty. The teaser itself is really cool. One moment you're fighting off waves of enemies, and then suddenly a DNA bomb goes off and you're the only survivor. It's quiet, your HUD is gone, exosuits are offline, and your only weapons are a pistol and whatever you find on the ground. You're told something's coming and you hear the screams in the distance. There's just a few zombies at first, but their numbers rapidly increase to chaotic levels. Your exosuit comes back online, but all you can do is escape. As you're flying away, one jumps up from the horde below and pulls Gideon right out of the warbird. But unfortunately, clickbaiting YouTubers, leakers, and even their own execution diminished the impact of this whole sequence, and now hardly anyone seems to talk about it. And the most tragic part of it all is that something like this could never happen again. Zombies is one of the main selling points of Call of Duty nowadays, and I doubt the higher-ups would allow it to not be advertised. Even if they did though, and the execution was perfect, someone would leak it, or some big YouTuber would shove it in your face before you even had the chance to see it yourself. But at the very least, I appreciate what Sledgehammer tried to do. I just really wish it had worked out.